Xterra Performance has your Nissan covered for any off-road adventures. With aftermarket brands like ARB, CVT Tents, Warren, Heps Designs, Insane Fab, White Knuckle Sliders, and so many more. When you're ready to take your truck or SUV to the next level, search www.xterraperformance.com for the best deals around. Remember, that's xterraperformance.com.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
Good morning, afternoon, night, or whatever it is, Nissan Nation. My name is David Boyd, and I got my co-host here, Daniel, the Big Deal Gruters, on here tonight. What is going on, amigo?
Not much, big game, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm the big game now, huh?
Yeah, that's that. I have coined you the big game.
Well,
I hear it's pretty cold over there, man. How you doing? Snowpocalypse?
Yeah, we definitely got snowpocalypse here. They're bracing for maybe a half inch of snow, so cannibalism everywhere. You know, the people are going crazy. We're looking at The Walking Dead, basically.
Wow. Well, I think the most important thing, man, is don't slip on the Yeti piss. Because I hear them Yetis are running around, peeing everywhere. There's frozen Yeti piss. Yetis are running up, stealing pants, stealing people's handbags, rummaging. You know, it can get pretty shady out there.
Well, I hear that Yeti bites are pretty dangerous, so I'm looking to stay away from all that.
Yeah, they're not poisonous, but they're gangrenous, if you will.
Well, that's good to know. Say, so what is going up in your world, man? Anything going on with Team Xterra Racing?
Yes, we did. Dave, the main guy, did a little work on the Xterra last weekend. I am actually meeting him for the first time, as opposed to phone calls and emails and texts and all kinds of pictures and whatnot. I'm finally able to meet him in person this coming weekend. We're going to be pit crewing together for the Class 15.
Reunited.
Yeah, buddy. Class 15 MD Motorsports racing vehicle, if you so inclined to check out the Parker 425 Blue Honor Challenge, I believe it is, something like that.
So what do you?
I don't even know. It was the last minute. Hey, you want to go pit crew? I'm like, yeah. That's how I roll, man.
That's right, man. You're last minute Dan.
That's right.
Well, so nothing besides that going on for you. And when did you say you were going to start testing?
We're hoping. Let's see. I'll let you know after I talk to him.
All right.
He's the main man. So I gotta get some good updates from him. We're gonna talk a lot of shop this weekend. We got a lot to talk about, and we kind of waited for this weekend to get down to brass tacks on scheduling and all that business. But we got a couple good guys coming down from Michigan to pit crew with us. I want to give a shout out to my boy Brian and Ryan, Reggie. They're coming down to pit crew with us, so I got some confirmation from them. We got some other good Xterra friends coming out to pit crew, so we still need a couple more, but it's nice to see some humble, friendly characters coming down to take care of the Xterra race team.
Well, you scared me there. You started saying hump, and I was like, what kind of racing we got going on?
Hump, humble, it's all the same business, man.
Well, we had this past weekend. Of course, I'm not sure if this will be airing in a week or so, but we had the big game going on. I'm not sure which side of the fence you were on there, West Coast or East Coast, Dan, but it looks like those Patriots paid off and won the big game.
It was a pretty astonishing finish. I like to use the word astonishing because nobody can actually believe the play calls. So it was fun to watch, I guess you could say that. I mean, I watched the second half, kind of the last quarter. I was out snowboarding, not like an old man should, but I was out snowboarding and busted up my tailbone a little bit. But it was a big finish. Last minute, you rarely get Super Bowls where last minute you get changes tides.
Right. Well, it was pretty fun for me. I've been pulling for the Seahawks on this thing, and I thought, man, last minute, I'd post on Facebook. I was like, I don't think they're going to do it, man. I think somehow that New England was going to come out of it. And I was ballsy enough to put up a score on Facebook right before the kickoff of 24-28 New England and nailed that sucker.
Wow.
I know. Too bad I didn't.
That's why you're the big game, Dave. That's why we call you the big game, because you got big game, man.
Yeah, except for I didn't have any money on it, Dan.
Well, then maybe you're not the big betting game.
Well, hey, there's baby steps.
Yeah.
So
did you? I mean, were you into the commercials? I didn't. Like I said, I was out snowboarding for half the day. I didn't get back in time for most of the stuff. I saw a couple online afterwards. My wife made me watch a few. What do you think of some of them commercials, man?
Well, Nissan, being the sneaky, cheeky little guys they are, they had a promotion going on, #WithDad. It was where they were wanting people on Twitter and Facebook to start hashtagging pictures of them and their dads watching the game. I scrolled through it, seen some cool pictures. Then all of a sudden, here comes their commercial, and it seemed like it was about a 60-second ad. And it's going through their racing and the new GTR race program they have going on. And then at the end, it shows the dad, picking up his son in a brand new 2016 Maximo, which we had just talked about last show.
Funny how we are on the cusp of Nissan technology and news. We are the one-stop shop for everything Nissan that you need to know. Pretty much, we practically called the Super Bowl commercial before you guys even knew it. We were trying to give hints, but if you didn't hear them, then you missed out, because that was a tear-jerking commercial that caused me to blubber like an idiot, because I love my father and I have children and they love me, I think.
Well, hey, we don't ever find out till I guess we're in the nursing home.
Speaking of blubbering idiot, how about that commercial with? Okay, just give me a second here. The commercial. What was it? What you said it earlier? What was the commercial? I don't even remember the name of the company.
I'd like to refrain from saying, but I think it was Nationwide.
I don't even remember. Yeah, something like that. Who cares? We're not plugging them. So
I'd like to plug them.
It was the kid who was. You're never gonna do this. He's never gonna do this because what is he dead? I don't even remember. It was the most depressing commercial I've ever seen in my entire life, and I wanted to throttle the person that actually put that commercial up. So I'm sorry for the rant, but that commercial caused me to want to inflict pain on another human being, man.
Oh, exactly. And for people that might have lost children in those circumstances, I've lost a child to cancer. So you go to the movies and you see some St. Jude ad or something, and those commercials, they're trying to bring attention to bad situations. But when I see those commercials of the cancer patients and stuff, I just like cringe, man. And
I think what they should have done is they should have taken all that money and they should have hired tons of people to just go into everybody's house that had a kid and just punch him in the gut instead. It probably would have been easier. They would have got over that quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Or just have them
take the old-fashioned gut punch for everybody.
just take the kid's favorite toy away. How about that?
Probably could have paid every single person in the U.S. to give their neighbor a gut punch. With the amount of money that they probably spent on that. Well, anyhow, we wander and we run around.
That's right.
That's just my personal opinion on some Super Bowl commercials.
Well, maybe we can get some people to tell us what they think on our Facebook page. And
we have a Facebook page.
We're
do.
A
big deal, man.
Hey,
we're a big deal. We're a big game.
And that's right, man. Our website is up, revamped. We'll keep revamping that a little bit. Maybe Dan will actually give me some bio stuff, maybe to type on there.
I like to keep my peeps guessing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to know everything about me right off the bat.
Well,
kind of like a wild card.
Well, one last thing on these commercials. Did you happen to see the Pac-Man commercial that Bud Light did?
Oh, I missed that one.
Dude, it was pretty funny. They have this promotion where, are you ready, or I forget what they call it. And they have people come in and they order a Bud Light or something, and they're like, "Are you ready for what comes with this beer?" And I'm like, "It's a light beer, man. It's like a week light beer." So what
Right.
excitement could come to that? So
are you gonna have a middle-aged lady come and give me a back rub? I don't understand.
So the guy, I guess they tell him to go outside, and he's walking around, and there's this big quarter. I mean, like, it's big, probably 6 foot tall quarter, and it takes him and his buddy to put it in this arcade looking deal. And they put it in, and all of a sudden the dude walks in, and it's Pac-Man, and it's life-size Pac-Man where he's literally running around and he's got these ghosts chasing him. And I'm a Gen X guy, and that's definitely a Gen X game that I used to spend all my money on. So it brought back some fun memories. But it kind of taking it here to the end with this, Nissan was pretty sneaky about that. I liked how they didn't even really bring attention. I mean, they showed the car and everybody took screenshots of the new Maxima. It looks pretty damn close to the sports concept, which is what I was hearing. I actually saw one of these things yesterday. I was driving home from work, and I literally work like 3 miles from the plant. So I'm anytime they have new production cars, you'll see the little camouflage cars running around town.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so they're in trials right now for this Maxima, and I would say they're pretty close to ramping it up. So I'm just driving by, and all of a sudden I see this. I'm like, what the hell is that coming at me? And sure enough, it's like you've seen probably on Auto Guide's got some pictures of it up in Michigan where they were test driving this thing around, and they just come off the interstate. And even this thing all badged up where you can't hardly tell what it is, it looks like a rocket ship, man. I am super excited. If I didn't want a Titan sitting in my yard in a year, that Maxima probably definitely would be. And rumor has it, we had talked about the CVT, that the horrible thing that no one likes to mention. Supposedly, each year they reprogram these things and they slightly tune it. And what I've heard, rumor has it, this thing it's right now. And with the engine that they're going to put in this car, they're claiming this thing it's 370Z fast. So that's pretty exciting.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I'd like to see it. I mean, they came out with the maroon color, which is all right. It's cool. It's kind of family oriented, kind of subdued. I'd really like to see it come out in a bright color, even if it's just a show car or something like that.
Sure.
With the big wheels and kind of pimp it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? To make it really pop. Because the one the picture I show, it looks really good. It looks like a really nice sedan.
Well, I have a feeling that you're going to see a Nismo version of this thing come out.
That would be so. I guarantee you, if I see a Nismo version of that, I might call my mom and I might tell her I love her, and then I might disappear for a couple weeks and be on the Autobahn or something like that, just cruising around, being all Nissanned out. I'd probably get a Nissan tattoo on my butt cheek. Who knows?
Well, you're the big deal, so
it might be the big deal Nissan.
The big deal and the big hiney, huh?
Worst tattoo ever.
Well, it's super exciting, and I love that they're really pushing the design. And we went over this in the last show, and I won't hash on it, man. But I think they're building the most exciting looking cars right now. Love it or hate it, aggressive is here to stay with Nissan. So that brings us to our next thing. Let's do our little fake news. Let's see. Nissan.
That was my news sound. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. Nissan has released their numbers for last month, sales wise, and they're up across the board.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think it was something like maybe 17% or so more than they did in 2014 of January. Of course, they're bringing out a lot new cars, and you've got the Rogue had just come out. What's the other SUV, the bigger one?
Murano
just came out, and of course they teased everybody with this Titan, which Titan last month only sold 700 vehicles. Nissan Xterra still ahead of it at 900.
The old Titan was on a. It was kind of on the top of Mount Everest, and someone had a big boot, and they were standing behind it for sales in the end of last year, and everybody knew that the new Titan was coming. So for those people that did buy it, not to hate on you, I mean, it was a cool truck, but the brand new one's going to be super rad.
Yeah,
so.
That's their bread and butter right there. But Armada actually outsold both the Xterra and Titan together, which is kind of strange to me because that thing
blows my mind. They weren't having amazing sales last year from what I remember.
No. And I mean, they're only, I think, eking out like 1,000 roughly a month of this thing. So, but still, that thing is, I think, at least 10 years old. I think it came out a couple years after the Titan did, but obviously it's with the new Titan out, it's going to be refreshed a little bit. Goodbye little box car. Nissan killed off the Cube. 2014 was the end of it, And it's kind of sad.
That's bittersweet for me because it was such a design, like out of the box, kind of weird.
Literally out of
I mean,
the
if you ever
box.
watched Top Gear, they were kind of on. I mean, they hated it, but they liked it. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those cars for them, and I felt the same way as Top Gear did. It in my personal opinion, I think it was crazy ugly and stupid. But on the flip side, it's super out there. It's super cool with, they just kind of like threw the regular thinking out of the box, and they just went all, they went all crazy on it. And they made their own little style of design car, and they slapped some friggin' kangaroos together, and out came the Cube,
Well, it's definitely all Japan, and everything. I've never been to Japan, probably never will, but all the pictures that I drew over from the cars over there is definitely, it had that style. I think they sort of Americanized it just slightly, but it's kind of sad to me because all these little box cars now are just going away. I used to have a 2005 Honda Element. I loved that thing, and probably out of all the vehicles I've ever had, it was the most practical and really the most fun. I put some big 18-inch rims on that thing, and I was pimping around. I thought I was cool, but overall, I mean, those style vehicles, they're kind of nice because not everybody wants a Sentra or something. The typical little car, and they're all based.
I think they're really rad cars for people that aren't super like motorheads and stuff. They're they want something that they can put a bunch of stuff in that has some style, but it's different. I'm a big, I really like to look different. I really like to buy cars that not everybody's buying and mod stuff that differently from anybody else, and I think that's kind of the appeal for those box cars is people who kind of like to be a little bit different. They like to stick out in the crowd a little bit. So they do things, they like to mod them. I mean, those cars came out with like a million little mods that you could do, so it almost made them into motorheads on accident,
Right. Well, that was the thing with when Toyota did Scion. That was their big approach was, hey, let's give people something that, if y'all can only see Dan's face right now, let's give people.
Sorry guys, I got to call this out. I apologize, but. Well, in that last little portion of talk, Dave put on the fox nose. I think it's a fox nose, and
it is.
And I was unable to hold back my fever of laughter that came on, and he was wearing a fox nose, man.
Hey,
we gotta get these things on video. People gotta understand what we're dealing with when we're making these recordings.
I know, man. We might scare people though, and I think last I checked, we had about 50 downloads so far from that last show. Let's not ruin that.
That's a lot, man. If 50 people listen to me, that's a lot of people listening to me, man.
Well, at the time of this recording, Dan, it's only been up for 2 days, so who knows what the numbers could go to. We could be up to 60.
Well, usually when I'm with my family, there's about 7 or 8 of us. Well, there's 7 or 8 of us around, and usually only 2 people are listening to me when I'm talking. So that's a big jump for me.
But clearly, are they listening? Anyways,
well, they're listening, thinking to themselves like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's still talking."
Anyways, it's a little sad to me to see these style cars go because I really like you. That's why I bought the Element. It was different. I literally bought the thing sight unseen. I just emailed the dealer and said, hey, here's my paperwork. And the guy was like, don't you want to test drive it? And I was like, no, it's a car. They all drive pretty much the same anymore. And I love that thing. And literally, I traded that in for my last Frontier, which, was a sad day. But when you got a boat, I don't think the little Honda's going to tow the boat. So we needed something.
Yeah.
And I'll tell that story, how that poor car died one day. But anyways, with the Scion, it looks like the little XB is about to disappear too, sadly. They're gonna Europeanize it, or however you would say that, and turn it into some hatchback, something that nobody's going to want. And let me guess, I'll predict 5 years we won't even know what Scion is anymore, because rumor has it, even the little partnership they did with, what was it?
Toyota?
No, the partnership they did with Subaru. With the with the FSR and the whatever they called the Subaru.
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly that's a one-off, and even though Toyota's claiming right now that car is going to be back, everything says it's dead. So sadly, our little box guys are going to go away, and we're all going to be stuck with the same CUVs or whatever they're calling them nowadays.
Well, you know what, Dave? I feel like you just rolled out the cusp of automotive news. People have no idea that we know pretty much everything that's going to happen in the future, and you just probably ruined some people's lives right now.
There's some poor guy.
I'm not hating on you, but this is a real deal. We know everything that's going to happen in the future. So if you want to know what's going to happen in the near future, the Nissan Nation podcast is the way to go.
That's right.
You're never going to know that stuff unless you get on the Facebook page and like our page.
That's right. That's right. We need likes, and please subscribe to us on iTunes. So to wrap up news, let's see. Altima, man, they are killing it right now. They are neck and neck with Toyota Camry, who is the king of the midsize sedan. Yeah. Altima's up 17% last month, that's a heck of an increase, seeing as how that car's been out since like 2012. I think it's when the first year of this generation, third generation, was out. And for them to be there neck and neck with Toyota, that's what the head of Nissan said. He said, "Hey, we're not here to just hang with them. We're here to compete. We're here to try to take over that market." And I give it to him. The Altima, it looks nothing like the Camry, I think, which is what people like. I think Toyota's getting a little bit conservative or too conservative with their design anymore. They're not having fun with the cars. It's just it reminds me of what GM used to do. They built a car, everybody bought it, and they didn't want to change it too much. So, and
I think I've heard a lot from the Yeti community about how much they like the Altima's rear legroom. I mean, because Yetis are huge. So when they get in the back of that, I was talking to a Yeti the other day, and he got in the back of an Altima, and he was telling me, he's like, "Listen, man, I like a Camry just like the next guy, but I got in the back of the Altima, and my leg hair didn't even brush the front seat."
Crazy.
And you know how their leg hairs are all touchy. They're all crazy about their leg hair. You brush up against their leg hair, and then all of a sudden your neck's getting bitten with a snaggletooth Yeti. But yeah, they got amazing room in them. Their styling's amazing, and who can argue with the Yeti community?
Well, yeah, exactly. I guess the Yeti's going to choose Altima every time, basically.
Guaranteed.
Well, so it looks like that.
On that note,
that mid-size car is heating up. I think 2015 has a couple little refreshes for the Altima, but they're neck and neck right now. Let's see, what else we got? Any other news you want to talk about tonight?
We can talk about what it takes to be an actual Nissan owner. And I wanted to, this is a little something that I wanted to talk about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rants with Daniel Gruters.
Nissan ownership is more than just buying a car. What it takes to own a Nissan is it takes a small amount of love in one's heart. And not love like, I only have 3 inches of space on the bed anymore, honey. Love. I mean love like, I'm going to change my own oil tonight.
Whoa.
And that means unscrewing that oil filter. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? You got to drop that splash pan and you got to get on that oil filter. You got to unscrew that thing. You got to put a new oil filter on there.
Brother.
When you're done with that, you know what you do when you're done with that? You get on that oil drain plug.
Whoa. You
got to get all that oil out of there, Dave.
That's right,
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And I hear local Nissan dealerships are doing oil specials this week.
Yeah. And you know what? This touches home because I changed my oil last night. And a shout out to Steve Benecke. I don't know how I say his name, but he hooked me up with some oil. Earl. And he hooked me up, and I got that oil drained out, and I got myself a nice little
a facial?
No, sorry, I forgot the word for it. What's the thing? The spout that you put in so you don't spill oil everywhere. What's the stinking name?
Funnel.
Ooh. Oh, that's the word. I got a nice little funnel, and I put it in there, and I stuck all the oil right inside that engine.
All of it. All 6 quarts?
Yeah. And we had a good time. Just me and my Nissan.
Which Nissan was that?
That was a Frontier, the Pro 4 Boss.
Oh, so you go both ways.
Deliciousness.
I'm thinking a Frontier is a manly truck. So
I touched it gently afterwards, and then we drove around a little bit. But that's all part of the owning a Nissan. You got to be in the nation. You got to know what it is to change your own oil. If you don't know that, then maybe you should spend a little evening just checking that dipstick. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can see what episode 3 is going to be. It's all about that dipstick.
It's all about that dipstick.
No trouble.
Anyhow, we digress, Dave. We should probably wrap this show.
We do. Well, let's see.
Wrap this portion of the show.
Yeah, let's see. This portion was brought to you by Daniel Gruters and his loving rants about his oil change. But let's see. I think we got an interview to get to, Dan. Let's see what those boys at goneMOAB are up to.
Yes, let's give those characters a call.
All right, Nissan Nation. We tonight we got a special interview lined up with Alex and Nick of goneMOAB. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Oh, we're
doing wonderful.
Me and Dan we're having the time of our lives right now.
Living the dream, buddy.
So from the get go, obviously me and Dan kind of know a little bit about what you guys do. Nick, can you start off with a little background about yourself and with Nissan? What do you do with them?
With Nissans?
Yes.
Well, actually, I've been an avid Nissan enthusiast for many years. Ever since my second car, I had a Nissan 240SX that I hopped up a little bit, and then joined the Air Force, and I moved to England, and I bought a Nissan 180SX and hopped that up, and then when I moved back to the States about 7 years ago, I bought myself an Xterra. And actually, oddly enough, the exact model that I have is the exact model I wanted back in 2002 when I was 16, when the Xterra, right about the time the Xterra first came out. So pretty happy about that.
And
I don't know.
Sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to cut you off. Currently, you have an Xterra that I've seen. It's built probably one of the best builds I've seen. But you also have a car in the garage right now, still, correct?
I had a 1970 240Z that I was working on restoring, but with projects that come to light with through being engaged and whatnot, it's taken a back burner, which case I have now sold.
Oh man!
But
that's
I do
all right.
have 84 300ZX.
Nice.
That I tool around with.
Gotcha.
Good. Hey, so Alex, what? How did you get to be with the Nissan brand?
Well, one of my friends had an Xterra in high school, and I always thought it was the coolest thing. So a couple of years after high school, I decided I was going to buy one. And I bought a 2000 blue Xterra that I loved and had for about 4 years. And built it up, made it really nice, got it just the way I wanted, and then decided I was done with off-roading. So I sold it. Not only a month later, I regret it. So I went back and bought another Xterra. And I've actually had a 2000, a 2003, and a 2006, and my current Xterra is a 2012.
Man,
so I'm on my fourth one now.
So yeah, for those of you that don't know, Alex is probably one of the most internet searched like Xterra fan people out there. I remember when I first got my Xterra, and like his screen name on all the forums is Kuma, and every single person that you would ever talk to would talk about like Kuma's rig. And I remember seeing Kuma, the blue Xterra, in the first time I went to Moab, and every single person that I would talk to would agree with this. Every single one of your Xterras has always been washed to the nine. I mean, washed, waxed, and built perfectly from the ground up. Whether or not we knew what every little problem is, on the internet, every single one of your trucks has been phenomenally waxed and built and put together, and you actually are a big fish in a small pond, as I like to call it.
An Xterra rock star.
I want to give you your props on every single one of those trucks. I imagine that everybody would always wish that their truck would look like yours.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've gotten quite a few compliments on it, and I always try to keep it as clean as I can. I always learned from my dad that when you get something that you enjoy and it's your hobby, you take care of it.
That's right.
You don't just trash it. And
Yep.
when you get the chance, you clean it up and you make sure it's the way you want it. Don't just piece it together.
Yep. Very good. Very
Well,
good.
so you guys, I guess this is the first year you guys have taken over the event known as Gone.
No, actually, it's not.
Okay.
For me, this is actually my third year, and officially is taking over the event.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I'm actually acting as coordinator, so the main head honcho, and Nick is basically second in command here. He's helping me with a ton of stuff, and also he's going to be stepping up next year, as I'm going to be stepping down and attending the event as an attendee. So Nick's got some pretty big shoes to fill.
That is an understatement, Alex. And it's not just me either. It's actually there's another fellow Nick who's going to be taking it over. Me and him are going to be sharing the responsibilities next year as one of the lead people. And his name's Nick Savacci. He's also a fellow Las Vegas person as well. So.
Cool.
So you're gambling on the Knicks next year, is what you're saying?
It's going to be the year of the Knicks. Nice.
That's the plan for the next
couple guys
years.
to do it.
Hey, so, real quick, to be clear for those people that aren't, that maybe there's a bunch of people out there that are in, fans of Infinities or something that may end up listening to all these podcasts, if you will. goneMOAB is what we're talking about. Gone is an acronym for Gathering of Nissan Enthusiasts, where we get, and in this year, I've heard weird numbers coming from who knows where, but I know that there's, last year was, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was 100 plus trucks at the event, and it's a huge off-road event that goes on for about a week. And that's kind of what we're talking about with these guys. And they're every year it's volunteers that volunteer to work and coordinate and get everything ready for this big, huge off-road event that happens in Moab every year.
So can you guys kind of give a sample for people that's never been to one of these events? What kind of goes on? I mean, I guess it's week long. How do you start it? What's the middle ground?
Well, it is week long. It's in Moab, Utah, and what we actually do is at the start of the week we have a nice meet and greet. Starts on Sunday about 5:30, where everyone kind of gathers, checks in, gets a chance to talk to old friends and see new ones and check out each other's trucks. And during the week, starting on Monday, we have 5 trails, at least 5 trails each day that you can pick and choose from. And you go 10 those trails. They range anywhere from what we consider a green trail, easiest, to the very hardest, which is a black trail. And black trails are generally the ones where you're going to get body damage. You're going to be pushing your truck, over cliffs. And the green trails are more of the simple and easier to go through. And then we have everything in between that.
Right.
During the week.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How do they rate these trails?
I was going to say during the week.
Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, say that again.
Go ahead.
Were you saying how do they rank?
No, how do you rate? Yeah, with the color of trails, is it like they do with ski runs, or how do they rank these?
It's kind of similar, but we base it more on both the truck as well as the driver. So you could have the most built up truck, but you might be scared to go on even a dark green trail. So what we do is we kind of figure that the trails themselves we kind of rank them so that people have an idea of what they should expect. For example, a green trail is generally, you can do it in 2-wheel drive. You might go into 4-wheel drive every once in a while. You're not really climbing too many rocks. Next one up, you're starting to get a little more into the rocks, and then from there, it kind of picks up. Generally, you want to have your truck at least have some sliders. You don't need a lift for the green trails, but as you get to blue ones, you might want to have them. As you move up to a red trail, you'll definitely want a good sized lift and some skid plates. And then once you get to the black trails, that's kind of the extreme. That's where you want to have a solid front axle and, be prepared. More of the veterans take those trails.
Sure. So, besides wheeling, what else can we expect to see with the event?
Nick, do you want to jump in here?
Yeah, well, I was going to piggyback a little bit off of the trail descriptions. Every year, you might see if you're a continual goneMOABer, you might see trails shifting from possibly a blue to a red, or now we've with last year's goneMOAB, we instituted the light green, the dark green, and light blue, dark blue, all the way up to the blacks, and that's to spread everything out. But on top of that, it's also to take in effect the change in how the weather has changed the trail, because with each coming year and with each event that is out there beyond goneMOAB, with Easter Jeep Safari and the taco meets and the FJ summits and all that stuff, they tend to rut out the trails a little bit, and it can really change the overall obstacles and just how the trail is driven. So that can really also change the trail. But
yeah.
To get back to the question that you were asking, we like to surround it with a family-friendly event, and we're just all about having a good time, whether it's barbecuing, getting together at where everybody's staying, whether it's the campgrounds or the condos. Generally, people stay at the Rim Village, Rim Vista condos. There's usually a very large population of us there, and it's just people getting together. You break something on the trail. Hey, what do you need help with? Hey, let's kick back and have a couple beverages, or let's just sit back and talk about wheeling, talk about our rigs, talk about, hey, what's going on with their family, because we've got a wide variety of people. I mean, in years past, we've had people come all the way over from Russia. We've got Canadians that come down quite often, and I mean, people all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast, in between. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we're all getting together for the love of one thing. We love our Nissans, and we love to get together and have a good time, and we love to just off-road and kick back.
Right. And, I got to attend this event last year and was just impressed with how you guys do things, and just everybody's super friendly. And when you for people like me from the East Coast, we think we have hills and stuff and challenges, and our wheeling out here is much different than what you guys have to deal with. But the atmosphere and the surroundings, all the red rock, I mean, it's just breathtaking out there. And, that I know you guys are selling the event and y'all do an excellent job. But for the novice, man, when you see the countryside there, it just takes your breath away. It's amazing.
It truly is. And one of the nice things about it is that you come all that way, and Utah in general is just gorgeous. It's got 5 national parks, and 2 of them are located right there in Moab. So, I mean, you really, if you so choose to do so, and you come for the whole week, if you want to, take a day off, go out, explore Canyonlands or Arches National Park. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You will not regret one bit of it to come out there.
Yeah, I went I've been to about 3 goneMOABs now, and I went last Moab. I went with my wife out to Arches National Park, and we hiked around for the day, and it probably top 2 places I've ever hiked in my life, and mind-blowing scenery. The weather, especially for the time that the event, the weather is always I mean, it may get a little hot, but other than that, I mean, I'm used to the hot, but other than that, it is always just beautiful. You know, you may get a quick rainstorm or something like that. But as far as like the place that you're at, there's, you know, bar none, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So it's really cool to go out to somewhere like that and be able to not only just do, you know, go wheeling, meet old friends, new friends, meet new people, you know, but there's so much other stuff that you can even do if you wanted to make sure and make a big week out of it.
Now, what type of do y'all have vendors that show up to these events?
We do. We have sponsors for each of basically for the event for the entire week. Our sponsors range from quite a wide variety, everything from within the Nissan community as well as outside. Name a few big sponsors who we already have this year. Boulder Nissan, a dealership out of Colorado. Awesome guys. In fact, they were the ones who provided us t-shirts last year and did quite a bit of for goneMOAB. We really appreciate them. We also had Nissans and Expedition Outfitters and Xterra Performance.
Yep. Sorry. I just heard that was a good company. Sorry about that.
Well, and we love to have these sponsors out here. Boulder Nissan builds a truck that they actually have brought out several years, which is really neat. Everyone loves seeing that. And they plastered the back of it with goneMOAB in the window,
right?
Which is really cool.
Well, it's awesome that when I was out last year to see sometimes sponsors just donate stuff and you never hear from them. But it seems like the sponsors that you guys bring in are part of the community, and it's awesome to see like Nissans brings their Xterra out. Boulder brought their Frontier, and I think they've got an Xterra they brought out.
Hey Dave, let's just stop for a second. I know that you're trying to make a poke fun joke because I wrecked my Xterra the day before Moab, and I wasn't able to bring it out last year, and you're trying to make a little dig at me. Well, and it's starting to hurt my feelings right now. Well, Dan, this wasn't in the show notes.
Well, Dan, this isn't F-150 podcast. This is a Nissan podcast.
Hey, Dan, it's all right. I mean, look what happened to me 2 years ago. I built that beautiful motor in mine, and
that's true.
And I destroyed it on the way up, and had to rent a Jeep for the whole week.
Oh,
that's true. Well, you know what? I'm bringing 2 Nissans this year to make up for last year, so we should be good.
Nice.
Yes, we look forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we get quite the community that comes out to goneMOAB. You know, a lot of people find out through the forums about this, and Xterra Performance and Expedition Outfitters have been a huge help to us, but as well as Xterra Nation and Frontier Nation. We love having people who connect online get out there and they meet each other for the first time and actually get the chance to be able to be like, oh man, I've seen your rig all the time, and I dream of having this. And it's really kind of unique. It's that experience that you're not going to get anywhere else.
We do not allow forum plugs on this show. We'll have to edit that out. So I think I read you guys do a raffle, correct?
We do. At the end of the week, we have a large raffle.
And obviously, I'm assuming some of these sponsors, they donate stuff that y'all raffle. Do y'all give back to the community, or what kind of charitable things do y'all do?
We do. In fact, we actually give to 3 main groups as a donation each year from what we earn from the raffle. We go to Red Rock Four Wheelers Association, which is part of the association that puts on Easter Jeep Safari each year. And they do a lot in protecting Moab trails, specifically trails here in Utah. We also donate to Tread Lightly, which we highly recommend that everyone be aware of Tread Lightly and get to know them, as well as Blue Ribbon Coalition, who has helped with numerous trails. It's been a really good experience to be able to give back to the community and be able to share this.
Nice. So where's the best way to get the most information for goneMOAB? You know, if you're a regular guy and you got an Xterra and you wanted to, you know, maybe take it out on the trails and stuff, and find out, you know, how to register and whatnot. Why don't you give us the lowdown on where the website is and stuff, so we can plug that and let everybody know.
Well, we have a website actually specifically for our event. It's called goneMOAB.com. All one word, goneMOAB, and it's all set up. As soon as you open up the splash page, you can click on register, and you can register that way. Or if you're very curious about the event, you know, there's a forum that you can click on. There's also plenty of trail descriptions of past, present, and possibly future trails that we may go back to at some point or another. And then you can click through and you can see videos, you can see pictures, you can read 100% trail descriptions. Also help provided by Red Rock 4-wheelers. It's a pretty nice site. Lots of information on how to get to Moab, what to do in Moab, where to stay, who's all going, who's coming from where, you know, so you can really get an idea to see where your friends are coming from.
Cool. We had posted a question on our Facebook page and see if any of our people had any questions for you. We had 2 people pop up. I'll probably butcher these names, but Rob Duplays asked, is there a prorated price for a passenger for one-day only trips?
I'll let either of you answer that question.
No, the event is actually set up for it's a one-time fee and it covers the entire week. So if you come for one day, it's going to be the same price as if you come for 5 days or for the entire event.
Yeah. With what Nick is saying here is that the money that comes from the event is to cover, it's not just operating costs, but it's costs for permits that we have to pay. Each permit that we have to purchase through the BLM, SITLA, which is State of Utah, and other various organizations which we have to talk to. It covers those permits because it's per person, not per vehicle, which can get pretty expensive even if you're just attending one day. And whatever is left over is part of that donation that we make after the raffle. So it's not costs that we're keeping.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
No, definitely. And I think
Fantastic, yeah.
I think some people don't understand that, you know, these events are not free. And sadly, you know, I know all this is volunteer time, but there is insurance and stuff that costs, and there's money to be spent. So we applaud how you guys handle this. I think for, you know, me and Dan's talked about that I do an event and we've definitely used you guys as a benchmark because, I mean, you guys do it the right way. I'm proud to say that I went last year. I'm hoping to be there again this year. And it's only because I wouldn't fly from Tennessee just to attend if it wasn't because you guys do it the right way. And I think your heart's in the best places. Let's see. We got one more here. Chris Meisner, which I'm going to assume you guys both know. He asked, how much more awesome is the event going to be this year over last year's event? Nick, is it going to be better?
I really think it is going to be better. We've made a couple changes, and we've got a couple announcements to make, but we're going to hold off on making those. We kind of want to keep the suspense going a little bit to keep, you know, have everybody get excited. But it's definitely going to be awesome this year, and every year to come. We hope to make it even better and better every year.
Well, I hate to kind of blow the secret here, Nick, but I was talking to some other Gone personnel that I won't say their name, but is it true that you're going to be having pygmy goats as ride-along partners for some of the trails?
Pygmy goats?
Yeah, you know, co-driving pygmy goats for spotters and, you know, carrying food and stuff like that. Maybe I got the information wrong. Never
No,
mind.
no. You know, I think you got it right. You can definitely look for one in my vehicle. But that's for another talk.
Yeah, we'll revisit that. There's a couple more meetings that you have to go to. I'm sure. I hated to call you out on this podcast, so I didn't want to. I try not to ruin things, but I'd heard some things. So I just wanted to clarify some rumors that were going around. There was a lot of rumors about the picking the goats, and like I heard that they were going to have little backpacks with some like sandwiches. Which is way better than last year. Because last year, if I remember right, Exterior Performance and even Nissans sponsored trail runs and gave out ice cream sandwiches. So that was cool. Shameless plug.
I think we've got Darth Vader Dan going on there with some web difficulties. But so when is the dates for this event, guys?
It's May 17th to the 22nd. It's leading up to Memorial Weekend.
All right. And I'm assuming registration is going on now. Is there a cutoff time for that?
Currently, it is early registration. Early registration ends the 15th of February. With that, early registration, we are giving away a GoPro.
Awesome.
Thanks to Off-Road Gorilla, one of our sponsors. So Off-Road Gorilla is volunteered to give away a GoPro to one lucky winner. You can only get a raffle ticket for that if you get to early registration. Normal registration will begin after and will end May 1st.
Okay.
So the key is to get early registration so you can get some sweet stuff.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
Well, we all like stuff, and I know Dan is definitely going to be out there. Like I said, I'm going to try to be out there again this year. Guys, it was awesome talking to you, and we hope to maybe have an interview from a couple of you at the event. I think Dan's got something lined up with a couple people, and we really appreciate you guys being on the show tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely
you.
great talking to you guys. We really appreciate you guys interviewing us and everything, and we'd love to. I mean, if you guys want to do another interview or something like that as it gets closer, we'd love to do that again.
That sounds good to us.
Hey, real quick, you guys have a Facebook page as well, correct?
Yes, we do.
So that's just Facebook / goneMOAB probably. Then I'm guessing probably.
Yes, it
just
is.
search it up in the Facebook and then give that a like. I have been seeing some awesome pictures going over there. Tons. It seems like there's a million people that take pictures at these events, and every single person seems like a professional photographer in my eyes, at least.
No, definitely.
Not to mention all the amazing photography that goes on at the old Kuma warehouse, if you will. But there's so many awesome pictures. So go to the Facebook page and like it, because it's nothing but amazing Nissan trucks doing awesome stuff in Moab.
And if anybody has any questions, would the Facebook page be the quickest way to get an answer?
Yes, it would. It's
Okay.
easiest to connect to, and it's right there where we can see it.
Okay. Well, guys, we really appreciate it. And like once again, that event is goneMOAB. It's May of this year, and we hope to talk to you guys soon.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for that interview, guys. Once again, if any of you are interested, they're on the web, goneMOAB.com. They're on Facebook. They're probably on the moon, as far as I know. Those two wacky guys, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, good interview with those characters. Really, really good salt of the earth people. I've known those guys for quite a few years now through goneMOAB and wheeling and stuff, and it's great to talk to those guys again. We always have a good time.
It is.
So I'm looking forward to this year. A couple months away, we'll be out there wheeling pretty soon.
Maybe we can get the Dan and Dave show live and in person.
That's what I'm talking about. the big deal and the big game in the same room. Who knows what could happen?
I know. Maybe more oil talk. That's what I'm going to be excited by.
Wait, what?
What? Oil talk?
Talking about, man, you're creeping me out.
It must be these Yetis that are behind me.
True Yetis.
True Yetis, yeah. So let's
We
see.
don't got that stuff in California.
What are we going to talk about next time? Let's see. I got a feeling we're going to have an Xterra, a local Xterra club to maybe the East Coast come talk to us. We'll see what they're up to. We've down the road, maybe next couple weeks, I know we're going to talk some Navara. Dan, who's our Navara connection?
You know what? His name eludes me right now, but he just raced the Dakar and has an amazing race team out in South Africa. So we may be interviewing him and talking to them about their race team.
Well, don't lie to the audience. I know you know who his name is. You just don't want to. You're teasing.
Okay, you're right.
Always selling. That's my Dan Greeters, buddy.
ABC. You know, I don't want to leave it out there. I don't want them Googling people and figuring it out for themselves. I gotta hold something back from these characters that are trying to listen in on our little conversations.
Yeah, hey, this is just between me and Dan. So, once again, we're on Facebook. We're on iTunes. We're going to be on the moon, far as we know. We're going to broadcast this thing everywhere till we at least get 2 listeners. So if you're the second listener, please hit us up on Facebook. Let us know.
Somebody has to listen to the first and the second episode, which is very key for us. If you listen to the first one and then you listen to the second one, then it's going to be a big deal for us. So
That's right.
Why don't you go ahead and do that?
For Daniel Greeters, my name is David Boyd, and this is... What is it, Dan? What is this?
This is the Nissan Nation podcast.
All right.
Peace.
Got my pajamas on.
I've gotta get that trim.